We're back with Matt's top three, and today we have a ton of maintenance to do.
How this car hasn't rolled is beyond me, so we're going to be trading the 2x4s that were originally holding up the engine with some actual wheel chocks. Because these 2x4s are a deflation hazard. And if I ever want to get the Mustang out of the backyard, I need this thing to roll. Now in hindsight, was this the best way of going about removing this piece of wood from underneath the tire? No, but it worked, so I'm not going to be the one to complain. But now that we actually had a proper way of keeping the Mustang in one spot, I grabbed my handy-dandy trunk opener and headed over to that because there were some things that I had to take care of. See, the day after I'd gotten the trunk open, I decided to clean out the entire thing. That way I'd be able to have a better idea of what was going on. But I ended up filling it with all the carpet trash bags. And it's not that I didn't want to throw them out, my trash can just isn't big enough to hold all of them. So today I actually managed to get them all thrown out. Which meant now I was back to having a relatively clean trunk. Now, keeping this clean is a must because when we eventually start working on the frame rails, we need to take the gas tank out because it makes up the floor of the trunk. But since we're still a teensy bit away from that, I wanted to clean the inside. I actually just never got around to pulling out this rear bench seat, so I got it out of the way as well as some rear interior panels. And with everything torn out of the Mustang, we finally had a fully stripped interior. And I was going to clean, but there was one thing I wanted to take care of first.
So apparently these parts of the interior are not remade anymore, so I'm going to clean them up and get them inside.
I mean, that's what Rich told me when I had bought the car, but I wasn't planning on taking any chances. So I used the same interior cleaner from when I had worked on the inside of the car and went to town on these. And if anybody could tell me why one side is blue and one side's green, I'd really appreciate that. So after just about 5 minutes of using the interior cleaner, I had one of them looking great. So I decided to start on the next one, which for some reason was also blue on the outside and green on the inside, but I'm not really going to complain. But now that these panels were taken care of, I got all of my safety gear on to start working on the interior. I made sure that while I was cleaning to hold on to any parts that might be useful in the future, but everything else just had to go. And I ended up putting a little too much faith in the floor pans, but, I didn't fall through, so that's good news, I guess. But after seemingly grabbing all of the trash outside of the car, we finally had a fully stripped down interior, which is absolutely necessary for when we start working on the frame rails, so hopefully we can get a garage soon.
Follow this page to see me complete one of my top three.